Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to the English coverage of the Dota 2 Professional League group stages. This is going to be a best of two series between Tongfu and EHOME.k. Looks like it's going to be an exciting draft already. We got some meta picks, we got some crazy strats, and I'm going to be your hypecaster Annie, aka Android, and I am being joined this time by Mad Kings. What's up, dude?
Yeah, man, some of the classic stuff coming out here with the Faces Void and the Phoenix as well. I mean, classic dual pickup in the second when you have the second pick. Always going to be a viable thing to go for if you want to have those, team fight heavy combos.
Absolutely. And, with the Phoenix picked up right away with the Void, we've seen that already once before. We need ultimates for days. And can EHOME.k afford to go for another big ultimate hero, or are they going to have to pick heroes that can kind of fight whenever and wherever they're needed?
You kind of need to be a little bit worried because obviously it is fairly common to pick up something like the DP in the mid lane as well, but like you said, it does go to that point where you just rely a little bit too much on your ultimates, or at least it can go quickly to that extent. But you can still get one more. I mean, the DP is always going to be a viable option together with the Void, especially if they can get the Oracle with it because that's not banned yet either. So you could go for that dual pickup.
Man, I haven't seen Oracle in the longest time, but yeah, those safety supports are going to be pretty awesome here. EHOME.k, they've still got a support pick left now. The big question, are we going to see the Void in the off lane or the safe lane? Because I've honestly seen close to a 60-40 split in Chinese Dota where it used to be, Void, number one off lane pick 100% of the time. Does he have the potential to be safe lane this game?
I don't think you're gonna send him to the safe lane because most times where you see him in the safe lane, it's because he's against the lifestealer. Why you actually can send him to the safe lane because obviously Chronosphere is gonna be a viable way to deal with the lifesteal at all stages. So it is like in that one situation, it can actually be pulled off pretty well. But normally you just want to have it in offlane because it's just such an easy lane to pull off. You can get farm, you can get levels, and you don't have to worry too much about it. Especially when you're against Disruptor, which is generally very difficult to deal with in lane, for an offlane because of the glimpse. So yeah.
Right, so moving forward, eHome, they're looking for what could be their mid laner here. Death Prophet banned out against them. They could go for something fight heavy like a Quap, but again, then she is kind of ultimate dependent until she goes for, an Aghanim Scepter. So what do you think we're going to see here? Do we see a secondary support? Do we see the safe laner? Oh, well, we do see the safe laner. It is going to be the Juggernaut picked up, and that means they can still pick up a babysitter for the Juggernaut in lane. I'd love to see the Crystal Maiden. What other supports do you want to see?
Hmm. I mean, you do have the Phoenix already, so you kind of want to have something that can potentially rotate and roam with it. And while you want to have something that can also like deal with the safe lane, the Juggernaut is a pretty open pick because you can in theory send it to the mid lane as well. We have seen some pretty well pulled off mid lane like melee heroes in the past. So the Juggernaut is an open pick overall. Safe laners, I mean, the line is still going to be always a viable option, obviously, because they don't have too many stuns to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, they can still pick up some more stuns here. I think eHome, they're going to have to combo with someone that can help Juggernaut spike early. I think the big strength of eHome's lineup is that they're going to have a very well balanced momentum shift. They've got the Juggernaut that does come online earlier than most other position 1 heroes. I mean, the Sven, he needs like 20 minutes of free farm to himself before he's useful. And Juggernaut, he can fight right away in the laning phase. Another hero that comes to mind that can kind of do the similar thing is Gyrocopter. We saw last match. Do you think Tongfu want to pick that hero up?
That could be happening. I mean, Jacob generally doesn't deal too well with the Juggernaut, and he's also pretty not happy with the Faces Void Chrono combo. So I think it is gonna be an option if they want to go like full in your face kind of style. But if not, then then I don't think it's gonna be happening. Hopefully not. Something like the Sven is gonna be a little bit more, at least a safer option. Obviously, the Sven doesn't like being chronoed either, but you have the Warcry, which is a good way to deal with the Juggernaut overall because the bonus armor doesn't make you take too much damage from Omnislash. So I think that like something like the Sven is gonna be probably the go-to option.
Yeah, the problem is though, can Tongfu hold off eHome's lineup long enough to get this Sven farmed up? Because eHome, it looks like they want to rotate right away. We've seen Phoenixes be very ambitious in terms of rotating at level 2 or 3. They're going to go for the Batrider here. I do like that pick a lot. I'm guessing it's going to be offlane, could potentially be mid. Oh, we've got to support Kunkka. Is that going to be, another roamer here with the Phoenix? That means Juggernaut won't have a babysitter.
I mean, that could be going both ways. Honestly, they could also be a mid Kunkka, obviously. But the roaming duo Phoenix Kunkka,
10
that seems like a
seconds remaining.
pretty amazing gang squad, to be honest. As they, if that is
5
going to be the case,
seconds
they're definitely
remaining.
going to be looking to go aggressive, pretty much in the same style as when you pick something like an ET up. And the Kunkka is
Reserve
a great
time.
hero against heroes like Ricky, heroes like Bad Runner. So like when you get a little bit of vision on them, you're going to be able to set up those combos and
Oh,
bring them to death.
well, we've got a position one picked up here. That's going to be a Morphling. What do you make of that?
It's a strong hero, especially when you're against a hero like Kunkka, who's always going to be able to have reliable setups. Then you kind of want to have a safe laner who's not going to just get punished completely. Morphling, you have that morph strength. If you get chronoed, you can still morph strength, so you don't really drop down in most cases. So it's just a safe pick. It's a strong safe lane carry as well. You scale into the late game, it's obviously going to do insane damage. So it's a good pickup, yeah. I feel like.
All right, so last pick for Tongfu. It looks like they do still need a mid. Do they go for something very fight heavy? Do they go for something farm heavy? Do they go for something push heavy? What's their deal?
They do. Both teams honestly lack some kind of siege mechanic, so I think that's going to be the go-to options for both teams. I mean, Juggernaut obviously with the healing ward is going to be able to give them a little bit of a sustain at least, but they don't have any way of dealing with towers that quickly, especially from Tongfu because all of these heroes early in the game they deal pretty low physical damage. It's mainly just
Tongfu's
going
turn
around
to
and hitting
ban.
with spells. So I think they need something that can make them able to fight a little bit earlier, especially from Tongfu because Battle needs to be able to farm, Morphling needs to farm, Disrupt and Ricky. They don't really do too much without having levels. So, something that can make them a little bit
10
more viable
seconds
in the early
remaining.
game, I feel like is going to be the main focus.
Yeah, I mean, you
5
gotta have that
seconds
early game
remaining.
pressure, and, Ricky's gonna be a pretty decent early game pick. He's kind of boom or bust. He either
Tongfu's
goes
turn
through, he
to
gets
pick.
courier snipes, he helps with pickoffs. We saw a game earlier where he got first blood and was like 3-0 at the 5 or 6 minute mark. I mean, he can have a huge impact. The problem is if he gets starved, if he gets picked off, then he becomes a liability rather than a helpful roaming support.
10
So we'll
seconds
see what
remaining.
Tongfu can do with him. I've got a lot of faith in this team, but can they get their
5
lineup off the
seconds
ground?
remaining.
That remains to be seen.
Yeah, that's gonna be the question. The Viper getting banned
Reserve
out from the
time.
side of Tongfu. I mean, obviously, when you do have a Kunkka being picked up in the support position, you have the option to go for like something super aggressive and just go in your face. So that kind of makes sense, especially because, like we
10
talked about,
seconds
the
remaining.
support doesn't really have too much to deal with in the early game, so they can't really pressure
5
someone who's
seconds
very
remaining.
very like in your face in the mid lane. And Tongfu now
Oh.
picking up an Enigma,
Tongfu's
so
turn to
the
pick.
Chinese specialty, like going for the Enigma off lane, going for the Bad Rider mid, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Zhao 8's specialty, but unfortunately, we're not going to see him on that hero right now. So Batrider mid, and I would bet some money that we're going to see. Okay, I was going to say we're going to see not Kunkka mid, and we will see a Tinker take that place. So it's a support Kunkka combo with the support Phoenix, like you mentioned, huge pick-off potential, but that means Juggernaut is going to be alone in lane, and he can get punished fairly easily by this Enigma. You go in with the Malefice, you stun him up a brief amount, you make sure he can't farm, and I think EHOME, they could end up starving out their safe laner, but Tongfu, they're putting a lot of pressure on their lanes to make sure they get the ultimates up fast.
Yeah, this is pretty much just like EHOME going for that kind of gang squad. I think it's going to be the Kunkka Phoenix rotating between the mid and the safe lane, just trying to set up for ganks everywhere. Obviously, the Juggernaut can always have that safety with the spin being available. And if you can get like an X mark into a torrent and then into the spin, the Enigma is in most cases going to drop down. Same kind of goes for the Battle Rider in the mid lane. I mean, the Tinker
5
does need a
seconds
couple of levels
remaining.
in like either laser or rockets to be able to do enough damage, but it is going to be a pretty difficult thing to worry about. Obviously, the Ricky can scout out the ganks pretty effectively, just being pesky, roaming around, being annoying. So that's going to be pretty much his mission in the early game. I feel like just making sure that those rotations from the supports is being scouted out and dealt with.
I don't know what it is about this Kunkka set, but every Kunkka I've seen picked up in the last month in the pro scene has this Macklemore hair going on for himself.
I mean, it's pretty fancy, isn't
I mean, it is
it?
super fancy. So we'll have to see if that's the key to winning this game here. Whose draft do you favor if you have to pick a winner right now?
I think EHOME.k's draft actually looks pretty solid, just because they have so much to be able to pressure early game, and it feels like when you have enough pressure early game and you also have a decent like fallback mechanism to like pull you into the late game, it just feels overall a lot better. Whereas Tongfu, like we talked about, I mean, they have an okay team fight lineup, they have a good late game security with the Morphling, but getting past the early game is going to be pretty hard for them because they just have very greedy heroes overall.
Alright, so it looks like there could be a bit of contest over here at this top rune. Should be Radiant grabbing up bottom, Dire grabbing up top. We'll see if there's any blood gonna spill. Void, he'll back off, he'll play this one safe. Ricky could go in for something cheeky. He's got 5 seconds to make it to the rune, giving Tinker a run for his money. We'll see if he wants to get it. Torrent will be there to ensure that the Ricky isn't waiting at the ready. It looks like Ricky won't be able to do too much in this very early game. Now, Tinker in the mid lane, is he going to get what he needs to out of this, or will Batrider harass him back a fair amount?
Battleron is in general a pretty aggressive hero, so I think it's going to be pretty easy for him to go on if he does get a couple of sticky napalm stacks, if the Ricky goes in and like gets one of those Orb Venom hits off as well. So the Tinker needs to be pretty much in the backline from the start, and you can see he's already feeling the pressure. The Phoenix is going to be here to help him a little bit on the way, but in general the Tinker's not going to have too much of an easy time in the first like 2 to 3 levels.
Alright, so going through, I mean, he's getting harassed back a fair amount. I think his Phoenix needs to stay here for the moment, but Batrider will end up taking a lot of damage from this maxed out laser, from the heat-seeking missiles, so it's only a matter of time before Tinker is able to come through, and once Tinker picks up those boots of travels, once he starts going in and being all cheeky, it could be a very different game here, but they are going to go through once again for some sort of initiate. They bring in Lin to do some more harass, but Tinker's going to feel fine. He's going for that early bottle build and should have enough gold for it in the next couple of moments.
He's going to be fine. I mean, once you get to the level 2 and the supports, they're going to be starting to rotate around most likely, because you definitely want to have both the X-Mag as well as the Torrent and the Kunkka to be able to like set up those ganks properly. And the Phoenix, I mean, he went for the Icarus style level 1 actually, so he doesn't have the Sunbeam, and I mean, without the Sunbeam, you're not a Sunbird, right?
Like he's gonna go through, he's gonna put that ward up, but it's a very obvious ward spot, so it looks like they are immediately gonna take it out. The Ricky will be having some fun. Meanwhile, oh god, no, it happened. I missed the first blood for the first time in 2 days. Faceless Void does take out the Disruptor up top. Disruptor just a little too squishy to go up against. It does cost him his time walk, so if there's punish right away, they might be able to get a return kill onto the Void, but it looks like for now, Tongfu just gonna sit back, accept that loss, accept that Moonlight's gonna exert a lot of pressure onto this Dire safe lane, and in a Void, he's already got level 3.5 at 2 minutes in. Is this the start of Moonlight just being a huge powerhouse early on?
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be able to be zoned out. Obviously, being against Disruptor's the only support in the safe lane. They don't have any stuns to be able to stop him, so he can pretty much perfectly time the time off for whenever he takes like the most damage. So it's not really going to be a possible hero to zone out. It pretty much just comes down to Faith getting the same amount of farm, which he is so far.
Moonlight, he's trying to go through, trying to get something out of this. There's going to be a glimpse back in. Void's looking to see if he can take out the Disruptor with him. One more hit should do it, but the waveform means that Void will fall. And there's a poison tick going here onto Kabu, but he's going to be okay. Meanwhile, mid lane, Batrider does end up going down to one final laser on the side of the Tinker, and he goes through, manages himself back up, and he's going to feel fine sitting back in this lane. So those first couple of really troublesome levels for the Tinker are going to be over. He now has kill potential.
I actually think overall that 1-for-1 trade favors the side of EHOME.k, because the Faceless Void, he's always going to be able to get something out of the top lane. He just needs to play a little bit more defensively now. But the Tinker in the mid lane, I mean, getting that kill in the battle is going to be a huge deal. Like you said, he's going to be in a fine place now. The battle is not going to be able to be as aggressive as he was previously, and that's going to be like sticking him in the ass right now.
Absolutely. So Tinker playing that dangerous game. I mean, he's been enjoying dropping his items by his feet for a long time now, and he does have the sentry, but he's got to be very cognizant of the fact that the Ricky will start trailing him at some point. I remember seeing games where big items were denied early on by invisible supports, the Bounty and the Ricky, so something you got to keep your eye out for.
Oh, those games, man, where you like pick up the bottle from the enemy mid lane, and that's just, you know, making people cry.
Oh, I'm not talking about bottle, I'm talking about a Zeus Ags.
Oh yeah, I think, wasn't I there for that game?
I think you were. I think Zeus put his Ags on the ground to try to arcane boots up and buy Aghanim's.
Rip, 4,000 gold, saved up, gone. That's not
Oh,
likely.
double ward crunch up in the top lane, so everyone loses their sentry vision. That means Ricky free to move about the cabin. We are going to have Moonlight continuing to exert a lot of pressure. He doesn't have that many last hits, but the XP from this guy is super. He's already level 4.5. Compare that to the Enigma. He's matching up, but it's because he's been dipping into the jungle, whereas Void's lane is all raw, authentic lane experience.
Yeah, that's pretty much just you know the Enigma offlane pick. Obviously, being able to jungle very rapidly, taking this offlane camp as well as just sending the creeps into the lane afterwards with the. And he's against the dual lane so far, obviously, so he can lane pretty well. I mean, the Kunkka isn't gonna be pressuring him too hard, and the Kunkka now maybe rotating mid.
Yeah, gonna look for the rotation here. They really want to get the kill on the Tinker. Tinker has enough for one more laser, but he will go down. The heat-seeking missile, not enough to finish off everyone. That looks like he will get the return kill on the Ricky, but not a worthwhile trade whatsoever. At least Kunkka can enjoy soaking up that solo XP, but that was pretty yucky there. Dropping your Tinker for the first time is never good, especially while he's at such a crucial point in his farm. And up top, Moonlight could be in some trouble. He's going in very, very deep onto the Morphling. I mean, this guy, he's just got green lights every which way. He does have the Phoenix backing him up if things start to go south. He can go in with the Sunbeam. He's got that Icarus dive. Phoenix is only level 2, so really needs to find himself a little bit of solo XP before he starts going for these crazy rotations.
Yeah, and I think that's the main reason he's actually in the top lane, so he can get some experience without taking the Juggernaut farm. Because obviously you want to have the Juggernaut getting level 6 as soon as possible. So
Well,
just
Kabu
being in the other lanes.
might be in some trouble. Goes in with that zoning kinetic field. There is going to be the leap right on in, so not going to stop him for now. The glimpse back helps Moonlight escape. So he's just going to go back to farming, back to the lane, mid lane. There could be some sort of rotation onto the Tinker. They will bring in the Ricky. The Flame Break not going to connect. That silence not going to last for too much longer. There will be a drag here. They debut the first lasso, making sure Ricky gets as many right clicks as possible. Ricky's still hitting like a noodle. 45 damage on his right click means that the Tinker will be completely safe, dipping down to about half health but bottling right back up, and that's the first debut of the laser, or rather the lasso. 75 more seconds on cooldown and they don't get anything for it.
Yeah, you definitely want to be able to get a kill when you use the lasso early on. Obviously, it isn't a long cooldown, but it is still something to worry a little bit. One thing I want to note, though, of the Tinker's build is actually that he's been leveling up the laser to level 3, meaning that his march is going to be pretty delayed, so like his AFK farm mechanism is going to be very, very delayed.
That's actually pretty typical for a lot of mid-tinkers. He's going in, he wants to fight. This is a fight tinker build, it's a very typical mid-tinker build. Just max out the laser so no one wants to tangle with you. Especially squishy heroes like the Ricky down bottom. There was a kill. The Kunkka is able to take out the Enigma, which is pretty big. Enigma dies as he gets that level 6, so he does grab that black hole, but not able to debut it in any sort of fashionable way. And now we do have the Ricky getting very, very low. If he walks into vision, he's screwed, but I think he'll be safe for now.
Yeah, this is pretty much just that, the Kunkka's time to shine, like rotating around, getting kills everywhere on the map. He's now level 6, so he has the boat available as well, meaning that he can get kills pretty much in any lane he goes to. So he needs to be very active at this point.
Active he will be. Now we have the Void with the Chrono. Hasn't been debuted yet. They're going to have Kabu go in a little bit aggressively. There is going to be the time dilation here. Does he commit Chrono for the Solo Disruptor kill? Maybe not there. Oh! Yeah, he's going for it. He has to know that the black hole's there. He's got to finish off this kill ASAP and won't be able to do so. The Malefice comes out. They commit the Solo Black Hole for this pesky Void. They will get the kill. They feed it to Morphling. Worth or not worth? Those are two big ults spent up here.
I mean, you keep the Disruptor alive and you get the kill, and the early Black Holes is pretty much only going to be able to secure you one kill most of the time, so it's fine. I mean, the Chronos here was used as well for that, so he really wanted that Disruptor kill, and that's going to be not denied for him now.
There's going to be a rotation from the Radiant as they look to capitalize on the fact that there is no black hole. That big threat of control is off the field, and Faith, he's going to get stomped up just sitting back and taking it right now from these cute little centaurs. But it's Eidolons will finish the job down here near the rune. There will be a drag onto the Tinker, but where's the follow-up damage coming out? They will go through with the Malefice. There is going to be a Phoenix going through, trying to help out here, trying to help out his buddy, though. Going to get the burn onto the Faith. They will do so with the laser. The boat comes through. Going to get the stun here onto Lin. Looks like they will be able to finish him off. One more laser is going to do the trick. He doesn't have enough mana for anything else, and they will get the kill onto the Batrider. They are going to trade for the Tinker, as one final stroke from the Ricky does it, and so it's going to be a 2-for-1. Ricky looking for more here. They will get the Phoenix Morphling going back on through, so that's going to be a 2-for-2. Losing the Tinker, never ideal. And there's going to be a glimpse back there. They're getting greedy here. They really want to find something with the X from the Tinker. Wow, the Kunkka. I'm tired. We'll keep him okay.
That was actually a beautiful X mark. That was a very, very quick reaction, just X marking himself there. So well played by him, but like you said, I mean, losing the tick is always going to be a little bit annoying, but he did survive through the 2 kills. So at least he was, you know, part of getting a little bit of gold, part of getting a little bit of experience, and he's going to be fine with that. The bad one, if anything, is the one who's not really getting too much right now. He went for the travel boots, no, the tranquil boots. He went for the null talisman, so he's going to get a delayed bad one, no, blink dagger. Wow, I cannot say items stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's currently 2:45 in the morning. We've been casting for a long time now. There is going to be waveform out up top as just a very big stall on the damage. Morphling waveforms, void time walks, and everything goes back to normal now. Looking at the kill score, 7 to 5. EHOME are slightly in that favor in terms of overall XP. EHOME have about a 1,500 gold lead. Nothing monumental here at the 10-minute mark, but definitely a little bit to work on in terms of what items are coming out where. There is going to be a support rotation here. They are bringing in the Juggernaut, looking to show off that Omni Slash. There's going to be the boat. There's going to be the torrent. There's going to be everything. They're looking to maybe go through and get something out of this. There is going to be the lasso, just holding the Jug in place for now. He's got the Omni. Does he pop it? He's silenced up for now on the Ricky. Looks like he will go through onto the Ricky, but Ricky with the tricks of the trade, dodging out that damage. He's going to go for the spin TP. All Juggernaut wants to do is live. He will be able to live. They will have to sacrifice something here. The Kunkka ends up falling, so what was a radiant gank turns into a dire success.
Yeah, that was just the lasso, like instantly used on the Juggernaut, keeping him in place, making sure he didn't get the Omni Slash off, and then instantly gets Flame Break back into the smoke cloud as well. So he just kept on not being able to use that Omni Slash. Ends up using it on the Ricky just because he was like, okay, I need to use it on something. Ricky goes to the ultimate, and then it's just like a failed gang attempt, like you said.
Alright, so I mean, Tongfu are finding something. They're finding those pickoffs, and that was a very ambitious play from EHOME.k that I don't know that they needed to take. I think they sit back, they wait for the board to reset with the chrono, they wait for their Tinker to go through, get those boots to travel, start with the split push, and make space around the map. There's no rush here for EHOME.k, so I'm not quite sure why they're going for these big plays that have high risk, high reward.
Yeah, diving that deep is a little bit too much to work with, obviously, also because Tongfu now has the ultimate from the Disruptors available, another ultimate that's going to be able to do a lot of work in the fights. So they need to be a little bit careful. The Black Hole is also online again now, as it is the long cooldown has finally ended, so they're going to be ready to go in for something again.
Yeah, but on the flip side, there is going to be the Omni Slash up in about a minute, and oh, looks like Ricky scouts out the Juggernaut. They're going to be hunting for this, but there's no real support. The closest nearby is going to be the Bat Rider. But now as the Tinker rotates through, I think Ricky has to back off. So up top, we've got Kabu getting some decent solo XP on the Disruptor, picking up level 7. I mean, you compare that to other squishy supports here, like the Phoenix, only level 4, and Phoenix is arguably way more level dependent than really any other support. Really needs that egg, needs that maxed out Sunbeam, and not going to have it just yet.
Yeah, there's going to be level 5 now, and he needs to get that level 6 as soon as possible, obviously, because he's the only support at this point who doesn't have his ultimate ready, so that is going to be the next mission. And he's going to get a solo lane dedicated to him so he can get that level 6 as soon as possible, which is going to be fine. I mean, he's going to get it soon. It takes a couple of waves.
Do you think we're going to see Phoenix with a Midas at any point, or does he just skip it altogether?
You should always fall back to Midas at some point. Some Phoenixes goes for like Tranquil Boots earned before that, but at some point you will always go back for that Midas, in most cases at least.
Up top, looking for something there. There is going to be a very defensive static storm. Kabu really wants to get out alive. They bring in the Morphling. There's going to be a boat from the Kunkka connects. They will get the kill on the Ricky. Don't even know if they were expecting that one. The Chrono comes back on through as there is still an Omni Slash coming out. Will go through. Gets the kill on the Disruptor. Pretty expensive kill there for the Juggernaut, but he's going to be fine with that. He's healing up. He's got the healing ward. They're looking for the kill onto the Morphling. He's morphing Agi. He's morphing Strength. He's looking for something, and they will go through. They do have the X marks spot on him. He does have the waveform if he needs it, but oh, he's going to get lifted up, and that's going to be a black hole. It is going to connect onto the Tinker. That could be a big pick if they can afford it. Avoid. He's sitting back. He's very patient. Another laser gets the Enigma down to about half health. Tinker, he's booking it on out of there. And there is going to be one final hit from the Morphling. Again, just morphing strength to try to save his life. The heat-seeking missile coming through barely does any damage to him on the backlands Void. He's getting low. He time walks off a bunch of damage. And Lin looking for something. He's got the lasso. Who's his target though? There's a glimpse back. They want to get the Void, but this Void is so goddamn slippery. He's looking for anything. He's looking for something. Does he get bailed out of this? I don't know. He's got the TP. He's got the time walk here, looking to go for the low ground. Goes up onto the cliff. Can they break it? They have the flame break at the ready, but they're not going to go for it. Very, very well played there from EHOME.k. I'm so surprised they didn't drop anyone, and they get 3 kills in return.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't they go for the flame break on the high ground? I actually think they lost vision, so they thought he went for the low ground instead. instead of going for the TP and thought he was just gonna, walk away. But he's gonna survive at least, and no one really dropping down from the side of EHOME.k getting punished for all of that aggression. So, well played.
Absolutely, and that was another black hole committed, and they didn't really get anything of it. I love the patience of the Void. We saw the black hole going on in this radius right here. Void staying right on the edge of it. He didn't get greedy. He didn't try to get too close to the Enigma. He expected that. He really wanted to go through and punish. Now they do use the scan to reveal that Kabu is over here right behind the tower. That means they're going to rotate in the Phoenix. They're going to rotate in this Kunkka duo. I mean, you called it out in the draft. These two love to rotate together, and even without raw damage of a position 1 or a mid, they've got so much kill potential.
Yeah, they even got to go for that dual smoke in the enemy jungle, just, trying to get some movement speed that way, trying to find that disruptor, like you said, that they have already scanned out, they have already spotted him out, so they want to be able to get a hold of him, and they're going to be rotating into the mid lane together with the rest of the team, just setting up for something huge.
Kunkka reveals there is going to be a dust. It connects onto the Riki. Very nice positioning there. They leap in with the Chrono. It connects onto 2. They're looking for some more as Tricks of the Trade does end. The Riki pops back into vision. Moonlight going to be going on in. There is going to be that egg. Very well played. I mean, the Disruptor Static Storm isn't going to do a whole lot to the Phoenix, who's invulnerable and doing damage, spraying out that burn, and in the end, Tongfu, they have to back. They can't afford to fight this. They use all their big ultis. And it looks like Disruptor may end up burning down here. The Phoenix doing the best he can. There will be a drag here onto the Firebird. So 2 Flappy Birds versus each other. The Flame Break brings EHOME.k. The Phoenix will end up dropping back in. But they get the trade for the Batrider right away. Phoenix got off the egg. He got off the Sunray. He got off all his damage and then falls. That's no big deal as long as you get a trade, and EHOME.k do. They're looking for another tower here, as they did end up picking off the tower top. Juggernaut getting the kill for that one.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good fight for the side of Tongfu overall, because you committed pretty much every single ultimate you had from EHOME.k. You survived, but then in the end, when they do lose the Bat right after getting the Phoenix, it's slightly in favor of EHOME.k, and then they get an objective on top of that. So they're going to be overall pretty fine with that, even though they did commit all of these like very, very long cooldown ultimates. But they're going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for something here, and we are going to see Riki get some vision onto the Void. They know that the Void is not going to be sitting on that Chrono as it was committed last fight. And they do get valuable information about this Ancient stack as well. So Riki doing his job, rotating around, trying to give the best info he can to his team, but the problem is, can Tongfu capitalize on that? Can they farm up safe? Can they go for ganks? Can they go for picks? It seems like they're just not doing enough damage right now, and that comes off the back of Morphling really not having his first big item yet, which will be the Lincolns.
Yeah, definitely, and the EHOME.k in the meantime, they are capitalizing. They have the Tinker who's AFK farming, they have the Juggernaut to win for the first item, Battle Fury, meaning that it's not like they're going all in for the aggression, they're going for the economic kill game in the meantime, and then on the top lane, the Faceless Void may be killed. Okay, so that's gonna be a 1 kill.
It's an expensive kill though. They used Static Storm. They use a bunch, but I mean, in the end, absolutely worth it. Kunkka going in, trying to save his ass here, getting this wave down, but they may have to sacrifice a tier 1 for this. They are going to rotate in the Tinker. He's going to be bringing in those heat-seeking missiles, doing a little bit of damage, but barely tickling the Morphling. So in the end, they get a pick. They're looking for something more here as the Phoenix, caught out in dire territory. Looks like he will be silenced up. He will be picked off. He pops a dust with his last breath, trying to see if they can go for the return kill on the Riki, but looks like the Riki will get away for now. And Riki, he's got that completed urn. He's had that for a while. What's his next pick here? Does he go for the Diffusal and start to transition to the core role, or does he go for the support items?
I think the supportive items is actually going to be a little bit better, because the Morphling is going to be that like insane right click and carry at some point in the game. So I don't know if he needs a Diffusal Blade. In most cases you will get it, but something like a Force Staff and Eel Scepter is going to be great as well, especially because you're against Kunkka with the X mark, so Eel Scepter can be doing a lot of work.
Down bottom, it looks like something could be going awry here. You've got the black hole on lock. If they can get the Tinker in that, that's going to be awesome, but looks like Tinker able to zone. They're not able to break this TP, and he's going to get out safely. So that's just more space being created by EHOME.k, and the longer that goes, the more successful those ganks are going to be. Send the Tinker into Rat, push out the lane, back off. No way to cancel that, except for the Flame Break, which may not always be there.
Yeah, definitely. They have the ultimates available again, so they want to be able to do something. Now this is, on this side.
I mean, goodbye. It took a little bit of time, but they end up getting the kill, and there's going to be a Juggernaut swing away. They're still looking for something here. They don't have mana for the lasso. Lasso already on cooldown, which is going to be EHOME deciding when this fight happens, how long the fight lasts. EHOME are very much in control of the game right now.
Yeah, they also have all of the big item timings. The Tinker having that blank deck available, so it means that you can fight as much as you want. You have the Kunkka on top of that who can X mark you, meaning that you can be in a pretty safe position. You can get X mark back in the case you do get jumped. So they always have these kind of like small save mechanisms, and the Kunkka Tinker combo is kind of one of those very, very cheesy things you can do. where the Konka can pretty much just sit back in base, X-mark the Tinker, send him out, and then you can't really die. Like, literally, you can't die.
Gonna be Ricky here playing a dangerous game. He's got to know that everyone's looking for him. He's just such an easy pick if they can get a pause on him, but no one's really carrying Vision. And you've got the Phoenix there, who has been doing a good job carrying Dust, but he's letting himself slip just a little bit now.
Yeah, now it's gonna be the mission to get that Enigma online. He does have the mechanism up, he does have the blink back up. The black holes obviously is always gonna be a hard thing to pull off, and they need to be able to do some kind of rotation with these. Yeah, okay, they're gonna instantly go for it, but it is under the sentry ward, and it looks like they did pay attention to it. The Phoenix just pinging it like a crazy man. So they saw something happening with that little small sentry ward vision. So, easy sentry, guys.
Alright, so big group up here for Tongfu. It's now or never for them. They've got to find something. They've got their big ultis at the ready. They've got the lasso into Black Hole, into Static Storm. The problem is going for catch. Can they get anyone here? As, you know, the Void's got some decent counter initiate of his own, and the Phoenix doing a very, very good job finally finding some levels here. Level 8, a bit under-leveled, especially when you compare it to the Disruptor, who has had that level 8 for a while. You know, it's not perfect for the Phoenix, who still has no Midas, may not even go for a Midas.
Yeah, he's very, very far away from a Midas at this point, so unless he gets, like, he gets a couple of kills in the next couple of big fights, they win them convincingly, then he's gonna be pretty much nowhere near it, so it may be just like one of those games where you get Tranquils, you get maybe a mediocre item like a Veil or an Urn or whatever, and then, you know, just go for some stats instead, but we'll see, we'll see.
Alright, in the trees here, you've got Ricky, once again, just watching the Tinker TP out, can't do anything about it. You've got to get something going for him, whether it's a Basher. You know, that's a greedy item for a Ricky, but how many times can you let a kill just walk away?
Only a very few times, man. A few amount of times. I mean, the Smoke Cloud is going to be able to set up very nicely, but like you said, I mean, he can't do anything on his own unless he has something like a Basher, an Eel Scepter, or the likes. Eels is going to be a great item, I feel like, this game, to be for multiple purposes. You can set up for like that Tinker kill where like eels him up, wait for someone to come in and follow up, which is going to be the greatest option for them to go in, I feel like, but we'll see what he goes for. I mean, he still does need to get the gold for those items because he's not really going to be farming anything.
Alright, so going for a bit of a split here. Juggernaut able to secure that tier 2 up top. Down bottom, it looks like Dire are looking for something, but Tongfu have to back off as Radiant. They've got the space to rotate in now. Looking at the momentum of the game, the net worth chart, we're hovering in EHOME.k's favor. We're hovering in Tongfu's favor in terms of XP, but it seems like EHOME.k just have a better handle on the pace of the game. They're the ones that control when the push happens. They're the ones that control when the fight happens. How did Tongfu turn that around?
They do have the battle right initiation, so honestly they do have the better options of getting a jump on the enemy team. It's just about executing it a little bit better on most of the time, because EHOME.k, they are the ones who's always in your face, they're always running at them, and Battle Rider ends up being using these like defensive Battle Rider lassos and just drag someone back who's already initiated on him, so it never really feels like it's them dictating what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've got black holes, which can be absolutely game-changing. The problem is how many heroes at once can you catch out, and where's the backup damage coming from? The Static Storm can only do so much for so long, as Juggernaut will be magic immune with that Blade Fury. He can just walk in and out of those kinetic fields without really feeling that scared.
Yeah, now on the top lane we do have the Replicant. Okay, so he was moving pretty far. I mean, the Cronus, they could have held him in place, but you know, he's gonna be safe. And Morphling just trying to farm up the next couple of items. He does have the Linkensby, like you talked about earlier. He does have 3.5k gold on top of that. Most likely will be going for something like the shotgun build, as that is still gonna be the most viable way for him to get some damage going. Even though he is against the Juggernaut, it's still, you know, cost effectively the best item he can get.
So Ricky with the Oblivion Staff, is this like Echo Saber Ricky? Is this Orchid Ricky? Like, what's going on?
I guess I mean, if it's Echo Saber, I feel like it's very, very greedy, and he doesn't really have anything to give damage to that Echo Saber double hit, so I hope it's gonna be an Orchid. Orchid obviously could be doing some work against the Tinker, against the Faceless Void, against multiple people, honestly. It would be mostly like for the first couple of kills if you can get it online early enough and be like a surprise factor. But I mean, if you can get a big kill with the Orchid, then maybe it's gonna be doing some work.
I mean, I think the ideal thing would be to transition that into a Bloodthorn, but good god, that is greedy. You know, if it is an Echo Saber, I really disagree with that. I think if you're going to go for more of a right-click Ricky build, go for the Basher, because then you at least have the chance to break TPs, but we'll see. It's all going to come down to the next couple of moments as Ricky, he's just flying in some wards for himself, so still sticking to that position. Support, making sure that he's always buying up his supporty items, keeping his team healthy. That Juggernaut sitting there. He's got the Battle Fear. He's got a Diffusal of his own. He has a casual Yasha, which he will eventually level up into a Manta. He's feeling fine here, cruising at the top of the net worth chart.
Yeah, they have a Blink Dagger as well in the faces for they have a gem on him, so they're gonna be just fine. They're gonna run into the Ricky and, you know, gem. So, Ricky in danger.
I mean, they go through with the Torrent. They know exactly where he's going to end up and just slapped down. Kunkka actually getting the kill for that one. Thought it was going to go to Tinker. But either way, again, just easy picks, Morphling replicates out, and we see once again Tongfu playing defensively, and in a lineup with a Morphling that can get away with that for a decent amount of time. The problem is that they're really only delaying EHOME winning the game. They're not really going to look to turn things around.
Yeah, now EHOME.k getting that Ricky kill, having some map control with that gem means that they're going to be pretty comfortable going for this Roshan, as they know Tongfu wasn't really in the area, as they would have probably made some kind of counterplay if they were. So they're going to be pretty safe taking this.
Phoenix having some fun, just whooshing around. Such a high impact hero. I mean, the Sunray, it took a little bit of time to get maxed out to level 4, but now that it is, they're very much enjoying having that reliable damage coming out. Faceless Void, he's picked himself up a gem. That's going to be the gem bought by Kunkka, so he's got that vision. If he wants to chase the Ricky, he can now feel free to do so. They're not reliant on those dusts anymore. Now Void, that is going to be a high-risk, high-reward play. If Void drops the gem, that's really big. That means EHOME.k lose all their well-placed vision, and I mean, up here in this bottom lane, they've got so much vision.
Yeah, definitely. He does need to have that next defensive item to be able to complement that gem, because he doesn't have a Manta Star, he doesn't have a BKB at this point, meaning that he is going to be fairly easy to kill off if you do get a hold of him. But I mean, he does have these defensive supports to try and heal him up, the Phoenix with the Sunbeam, the Kunkka who can follow up with some spells like try and force the enemy team away. So they do have a lot of items coming their way, and now the Juggernaut pick up at the Fusional Blade, meaning that he's going to do a lot of damage.
Oh, shotgun, it's online though. Oh, no, it's not. as Morphling just goes in, drops the load, and replicates out, so Juggernaut may be feeling a bit spooked, but he's still got Healing Ward maxed out. He's got whatever he needs to continue the push, and he will be surrounded now. They do bring in the Ricky. Juggernaut doesn't have any vision of the Ricky, so not able to go in for any offensive plays. They are going to bring in the Phoenix, though, and Phoenix hunting for something, pops out the dust. It won't connect, but at least Radiant buying themselves some space.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Juggernaut in the top lane, I mean, he does have the Aegis available, so the Morphling's mission there was just trying to pop that Aegis, though it would have been a dream, because that would have pretty much stopped the push from the side of EHOME.k. But now they're going to take the tier 2 top, they're probably going to be trying to at least pressure the top tier 3, as they want to be forcing the Morphling back, they want to be forcing the Batrunner back as well, who's currently just, you know, trying to get as much as he can.
I mean, this could be time to go in and end it all here. The Juggernaut enjoying that X marks the spot, his teammates helping him out, so he can go in, he can feel safe to push, and just get dragged right back to safety. There's really nothing that can prevent that. I mean, they could have gone for the cheeky glimpse there, but Juggernaut had the spin if he saw the animation going off. There will be a Malefice, meaning that the Juggernaut gets a little bit of tick damage. He has to blink away, he has to be a bit safe, but again, feeling completely fine. The rest of his team is there. The supports are so strong, so good at keeping everyone up and fighting. There will be a TP back from the Tinker, but he can always hop right back in. He's got those boots of travels, looking to go defend this tower here, as they will end up dropping it to the Morphling. So Morphling finding some space for himself, but now does have to be cognizant of the fact that his base can get pushed very quickly.
Yeah, this is just, you know, the pleasure of having a Kunkka to be able to siege, because that is just so much low risk. He can go up, he can have the X-Mark available.
Oh, Juggernaut in some trouble there. Is going to get lassoed underneath the Static Storm. He has another life here. He's got the Aegis. They will finish things off. The Chrono barely clips onto the Enigma. There is going to be the Egg on the back lines. Looks like PC focusing down the Egg, but will not be successful. The Egg goes through. It is going to be the Ricky with the tricks of the trade, dodging out the damage. But now Faith, he's all in. He goes for the Black Hole. Phoenix doing some serious work with this Sunray, keeping everyone healthy. Looks like Juggernaut will live through the initial damage. Stuck in the wall. Man's going down here. Does go down to the Morphling. That's a mega kill streak coming up. There will be a glimpse back, but it looks like EHOME, they're going to be okay for now. They drop the Jug, though. That's huge. Tongfu have a very successful high ground defense. Morphling really starting to shine.
I feel so confused in so many ways from EHOME.k's engagement, because they had the right idea. I mean, using the X mark on the Juggernaut and then just sieging with him, but then in that engagement he just went up without the X mark, and then he got punished. He got Static Storm, the Aegis got popped, they used the Black Hole for the secondary kill, which was obviously the great greatest way to kill that Juggernaut 2 times from the side of Tongfu and, you know, utilizing the team fight power, but it just felt like it was an unnecessary thing.
Enigma, I mean, he's got no black hole. His blink's on cooldown. He has to sit there and take the Sunray, and they will end up getting the pick on the Enigma down for a minute, no buyback. I don't know if EHOME.k, I don't think that's their goal point. I don't think they try to go for high ground now, but those little pickoffs, slowly but surely, will continue to drag this in their favor. Now, we do see a plateau the last 10 or so minutes, just about 3,000 gold in favor of EHOME.k. How do they really drag that up in their favor? Like, what's the play to go through and absolutely secure the victory here?
I feel like the game plan they had on the top lane, they just need to be able to execute it a little bit better. You know, going for the X-Mark plays, going for that Juggernaut sieging mechanism, and then just have the X-Mark as a safety tool, because like you said, I mean, the only way they can really kill him is with a glimpse, but he has to spin for that, so I mean, he's always going to be able to have some kind of way to get away from everything, pretty much. I mean, they actually literally have no way of blowing him up fast enough. It's going to get dragged in, but no X-Mark once again.
I mean, there's going to be an X-Mark, but it's not going to be enough. Nice chrono connected onto two, but they got no follow-up damage. So everyone just sitting there in time limbo, and everyone's going to be okay. Everyone backing off. Okay, they get the drag here onto Moonlight, so Faceless Void will go down. Will drop the gem to the Batrider. That's big there. Batrider going to be going for what looks to be a Hex, and should have it up fairly shortly. That's a big loss for EHOME.k. They dropped their Void, who already plopped up the chrono. They dropped their Juggernaut for the second time in a couple of moments, and that's going to be a 1,500 gold swing. So we were talking about what EHOME need to do to bring this in their favor. Well, not that.
I mean, once again, not the X-Mark. Honestly, I mean, it kind of feels a little bit cheesy saying it over and over again, but it's such a small thing that is making them die every single time, because they want to go for these committed pushes, but if you don't use your safety tools, then you're gonna get punished. I mean, that's pretty much as simple as it is, right?
On mid lane, we've got big TPs coming in. There's going to be a boat. There's going to be a turret coming up. So it looks like they might get a very successful combination here. Faith pops into the BKB just to run away. The X-Mark not going to be successful in dragging him back, but nice egg there, just buying a lot of space as Juggernaut now respawns. Maybe they're looking for more here. There is going to be the TP back from the Tinker. It's going through, making sure that everyone resets, full health, full mana. So EHOME, they're very much alive and kicking, but they've made a couple of questionable decisions in the last couple of minutes that's now putting them back on even territory.
Yeah, and being an even territory means that Tongfu is going to be pretty satisfied with how the game's going so far. They have the BKB and Enigma, meaning that he can always be getting these like very safe black holes off and actually use them to make some big plays. The Static Storm is always going to be a factor from the Disruptor. The Morphling, I mean, he has the shotgun, he has the Yashi, he has the travels. He's going with that right click build now, and he's going to be just stronger and stronger.
Yeah, goodbye Moonlight. He was trying to get that safe farm, but he's got to anticipate the Riki just being omnipresent on the map, always rotating, always giving eyes. And that's going to be Void down. He just gets his chrono back off cooldown, so a little bit of tragic irony. He dies right as he becomes useful again.
Yeah, you know, losing the gem earlier, that's the pain he's facing right now, not having the gem. So the Riki's going to be able to do whatever he wants to him once again, and he's doing just that. He does still have that Oblivion stuff, hasn't actually upgraded for anything, as he hasn't really been able to get any farms since the last couple of fights. But maybe we'll see it being upgraded.
Well, hopefully. And, you know, we've got the Tinker now picking up the Dagon, so going for that blop damage build, and pretty much everyone on Tongfu can fall victim to that. I mean, the exception is the Morphling, who is really starting to come online here, now taking up the top of the net worth slot. But, you know, Dagon 5, with that refresh and zip-zapped over and over again, that's like 2 hits for the Disruptor, with the combination of the laser. Now, I'm surprised there's no Veil anywhere on EHOME.k. They don't really have a lot of natural holders, maybe the Phoenix, but he's got his eyes on other prizes here, saving up a lot of gold.
Yeah, definitely. The Phoenix could definitely go for Veil, but I guess, I mean, I actually agree with you. I think the Veil is going to be the best option, because I feel like at this point the Might is going to be a little bit too late, unless they want to, like, they aim for like a 60-minute game. I think the Might is going to be a little bit too late to be pulling off.
Morphling shotgunning him before I can get my lazy ass camera over there, and that's going to be another kill. It's down bottom. Batrider is able to secure the kill onto the Kunkka, so it's going to be 2 dead on the side of EHOME.k in a matter of seconds. Top and bottom all being pressured by Tongfu. Is this Tongfu's power spike now, with the shotgun build completely online, with the Batrider able to go through with a nice combo with a Lincoln Sphere, so not going to be a Hex after all.
Yeah, definitely. The Morphling is definitely going to keep scaling, but once you do have that shotgun, you're just able to kill pretty much anyone.
Middle tower is under attack.
Now mid lane, we are going to have what looks to be a fight breaking out. There will be a glimpse back. Disruptor looking to make something of this Moonlight, but again, he does have that Chrono, but he's going to be blopped down before he can do anything about it. Void once again dies with Chrono on cooldown. Now, that's the big initiation point from EHOME.k. That Chrono is how they get the fight started, and that's going to be out of the fight for the better part of a minute. This tier 2 tower is going to be toast.
Yeah, Morphling damage, man. One shot in the face is Void, why not?
Alright, now I mean, Phoenix throwing out Fire Spirits, that is such a desperate attempt to stall up the push. They do bring in the Tinker, there is going to be a Torrent, not connecting onto anyone, there's going to be a Blink in, the drag back, can they get the Tinker? That would be huge, they've got the Black Hole connecting onto you, the boat comes through, it will not do a whole lot. That's going to be an Omni Slash coming back in, the Lincoln's is popped, it looks like Juggernaut will be alive, going to be living through that Omni Slash, gets a decent bit of turn, gets some decent initiation, but we have a glimpse back out, this will be a kill. That's going to be a Juggernaut dead with no buyback. Batrider, he gets dragged back into the fight but able to flap right on out. They don't lose anything there. Faith gets very, very low but still alive, debuting that BKB, or rather, using up another charge on the BKB, but successful Black Hole, successful fight, successful lasso, and EHOME.k, they're starting to scramble. Look at that drop off in net worth.
Yeah, Tongfu is just pulling these fights off so beautiful, and the Juggernaut did use the 10-second BKB there as well, meaning that he's not going to be having the like full value in the next fight. And like you said, the Enigma using the BKB doesn't really matter because he only needs the BKB for the Black Hole. He doesn't really need it to be able to survive in the fights. So as long as he has those like 5 value seconds, it's going to be fine. I mean, that's all he needs. It is only a 4-second duration with the Black Hole anyways. So it is just for the Black Hole in the end. And Juggernaut's BKB is arguably the more important one. That he used it and he lost the fight either way.
Alright, so now we have EHOME in a position where they really start needing to defend their high ground and wait for the fight to come to them. I mean, we were talking earlier about how EHOME were so in control of the momentum of the game. What happened? Is it Morphling? Did Morphling happen?
That's I mean, there was a couple of sloppy fights we pretty much agreed on from the side of EHOME.k where they went for the pushes, but I mean, after Tongfu took those fights, Morphling online, and like you said, I mean, it is pretty much just Morphling at this point. I mean, 21,000 net worth, he pretty much one-shots most of the cores on the side of EHOME.k, he one-shots the Faceless Void, he can pretty much solo kill any of the supports as well, so it's just so difficult to deal with because you have the Ethereal Blade, gets 1 kill, and then you still have the right-click power of the Morphling, which is always going to be a very, very great thing.
Alright, so I mean, we've got Juggernaut who doesn't really have an answer to this fight. I mean, he picks up a BKB on top of already having the Blade Fury, which, you know, BKB Juggernaut is not really a meta build. Do you think there's something he should have gone for instead, or did he really need that magic immunity?
He needed it. I mean, Ethereal Blade is just killing him too easily, so I think that's the best option. It isn't going to give him too much fighting power, like you said. I mean, it is purely defensive tool.
We got a Chrono here. It looks like they might be able to get the Healing Disruptor. Not the biggest pick in the world. He does drop the gem, though, so at least it's something for EHOME.k as they go in. They commit the ultimate for it, so now they've got very little initiation going forward. Can they get the Roche off the back of this? That is really, really greedy. They know there's no Black Hole online, but it's going to come off soon, depending on how long it takes them to get this Roche. There could be a counter-initiate from Tongfu. Again, they do have the Firefly. They got the Blink Force from the bat. All he needs is eyes, and he should be able to go through and contest this. But there looks like they're trying to pick off the bat. He forces himself away from the boat. He's going to be going through with the Flame Break, looking for something there. There is going to be some Malefice onto the Void, who's stunned up just a little bit. The tricks of the trade on the Ricky, going through, buying himself some time, buying his team some time. There's going to be a sentry board, resetting this, and I mean, everyone is just playing chicken there. They're all scared to be the first one to go in. On the back line, Juggernaut looking for the Omni Slash, will be committed solo onto Faith. He goes in with the mech, but it's not going to be enough. There will be the kill. They're looking for something here. The Egg, the Phoenix, it's going to be doing the work here, as Morphling can't take care of all these targets at once. Lin, he is burning down. He's melting down. He tries to get to the high ground, but Phoenix Beam is too much. Phoenix gets the killing spree. That's almost 700 gold going straight to the bird. That's going to be what looks to be a secured Roche for EHOME.k if they want to take it. But Tongfu, they're still putting up a fight.
Yeah, both teams they don't want to give away this Roshan, and even a buyback from the side of Tongfu on the Enigma. They really want to be able to do something, and now the Enigma replicate is getting gone on potentially. They will commit a lot of spells for this, but no, they're just gonna go for the right clicks. So.
Pretty sure they think it's real, and no, it's not real.
Very much right.
I mean, at least it wasn't like a Chrono or an Omni Slash or something like that. The Roshan still a high priority target. Looks like Juggernaut will finally make the decision to go into the pit. They do have the real Enigma, who does have the Black Hole, but it's a very, very ambitious fight. With the Batrider still dead for 30 seconds, I don't think they want to do this.
Yeah, they do see the Morphling in the top lane actually because he traveled with it up to the top lane, so we know he's not going to be available. Replicant getting killed means that they are very well aware that he's not going to be able to go for Roshan, so it is going to be a pretty safe option to go to the ocean themselves.
Right, and they will get it, and looks like there's clearance space for the Juggernaut. Will end up taking the Aegis of the Immortal. No surprise there. Now he can jump, he can feel safe, and he does have that BKB as well as the spin. So if he really needs to go get out of this sticky situation, he's got 2 ways to do so. And he's picking himself up the recipe for the Diffusal Blade, so he's leveling that up to level 2 to get the charges back. And, you know, Tongfu, it's coming to a kind of a stalemate point. The Morphling just spiking ahead in terms of net worth, but the rest of his team doesn't seem to be able to follow up with those initiation points, so it looks like Tongfu losing a little bit of momentum. Can they gain that back?
I think they'll still be gonna be in a pretty much stronger position at this point because it just felt a little bit sloppy. I mean, the lasso went in as the first thing, the Bad Runner going in for the initiation, it got cancelled by the X mark, and then the Enigma went in, got killed, the Disruptor got killed in the back lines as well. So it's just, you know, I mean, if they go for a committed fireman where they are actually all available, they're gonna be able to do just fine. But if they go like one by one, they weren't all ready for the fight, the Morphling was pretty late, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to pull off. Obviously, with the Aegis being available, the Juggernaut is going to be pretty hard to deal with, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, the last push from the side of EHOME.k when they had the Aegis wasn't really the most magnificent way to do anything, so maybe it's going to be a repeat of that.
Alright, so Ricky, he's got himself his Orchid. He's got about 1,000 gold on top of that. What's Tongfu's ideal use of this Orchid? Like, where do they put the Ricky? Who does he use it on? How do they follow up damage to kill them?
He's gonna mainly use it on the Faceless Void. I feel like if the Ethereal Blade blow up isn't gonna be enough, because you want to make sure the Chronosphere doesn't come out, and like the secondary target obviously after that is gonna be the Tinker, because Tinker spraying out spells is always gonna be a big thing. He doesn't really generally want to go for something like a Lincoln Sphere or an Eel Scepter if you can avoid it on the Tinker, but he might be forced to because the Orchid can do a lot of work on him.
Absolutely. I mean, as long as he's not able to go in and out of these fights as he pleases, he's going to be in a world of hurt. He's going to go through, he's farming up, he's trying to apply that split push, but it seems like EHOME very much still playing from the defensive standpoint. Their lanes are pushed in. Tongfu have regained control of their map. I mean, there's great vision going on here near the pit. We see a lot of wards, a lot of sentries. Oh, over here, there is going to be that bouncing laser going every which way as Tinker shows off his fancy new Aghanim Scepter and ending things off by killing a bird.
I mean, that was the quick death. He didn't even get the chance to react to use that Orchid. Just like instantly dead.
Now Void farming up here. He has a gem. He's still sitting on that. He does pick himself up a brand new BKB, just flying that one in. So magic immunity is huge here on EHOME.k, and I mean, there's a reason why Disruptor is such a pest. Disruptor now going for that Aghanim Scepter. Once he gets that, the BKBs mean slightly less if he can get the jump with a very, very nice static storm, but it's still a ways away. Disruptor, only 5,600 total net worth, and trying to pick up a 4,200 gold item, it's going to take him a while. He still needs about 700 gold to get that.
Yeah, pretty much it comes down to the fact that if he can survive in the next fight and they win it or at least get a couple of kills, then he's going to be able to get it, but if he dies, it's going to be delayed, so it's a little bit like hit and miss. I mean, he does need still 500 gold, so it's pretty much just one kill he needs to be a part of. He's going to be able to pick it up, and that is going to be able to do a lot of work, as obviously you can't use the BKB and the Aghanim Scepter to disrupt the ultimate, so if they can get the surprise factor off at this stage in the game where it is get in that late game situation, they're going to be able to maybe win a fight, which is going to be doing a lot.
So it looks like Phoenix is going to be picking up that point booster. Now, are we going to see an Octarine, or do we get to see a Phoenix Ags?
I guess it's gonna be the Phoenix Axe. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be for the save mechanism, like where you drag someone into the axe, but the additional hits that you get from the Aghanim Scepter is actually pretty great on its own, just, you know, making it a little bit more difficult to deal with the egg.
Now, once again, Juggernaut being kind of played with here. He's basically the toy of EHOME.k. They send him in to do the damage, they bring him back. He's very much in control now. He gets dragged back on through. Once again, getting handled. There is going to be the lasso, but he's brought back out. So Juggernaut feeling alright. There's going to be the heat-seeking missiles popping and doing some decent chunk damage onto the Disruptor. Once again, another X marks the spot. Man, this Tinker Ags doing so much work, spraying out a fan of damage. And look at these March of the Machines just going in, clearing out, munching away at the whatever creep waves will spawn eventually. And they bring in everyone here. There's going to be more missiles coming in, just buying some more time for EHOME.k. They really want this tower. The slow siege is real. Creep wave will end up getting munched down, but EHOME.k, they need to actually get in, actually start the fight. They've got Moonlight with a chrono. He needs to just BKB and get in there. Just start the fight. They're waiting for, I guess, a whiffed spell by Tongfu to be able to capitalize on that. Now, glimpse back every which way. Juggernaut finally stops getting toyed around with as the rest of his team may want to start making a move. They have the boat. They've got the torrent. Can Kunkka get the start?
Yeah, I think they should just keep using the X-Mark, honestly. Just have that defensiveness. But
I mean, meanwhile, there was a little bit of rat going in as Morphling looks for something. There will be a chrono connects onto 2. There's going to be a torrent to the back lines. The egg from the Phoenix doing so much work, but there's going to be a black hole connecting onto 3. Oh, it's a disaster here as Faith looks for something. Will give his life for that black hole, but it may just be enough. There is going to be a Aegis popped as they do lose the Juggernaut. Ricky just getting blown up. Man, this Ethereal Blade putting in the work beyond godlike streak for the Morphling. Can the Juggernaut do it? Looks like he doesn't have that Omni Slash. He has the Diffusal if he wants to. He goes, he grabs the gem, dropping one gem for the other, I guess, and it's going to be the Morphling trying to zip away, not going to make it to the low ground here. Ethereal Blade once again getting the Tinker down. We got another gem on the deck, one on the Juggernaut. Batrider looking for something there. He's got the blink, no lasso. It looks like the Juggernaut will get away safely, but the rest of his team crumbles. In the end, it looks like it will be a slight gold favor to Tongfu. Decent XP swings on both sides, but that's EHOME looking for the siege. They don't find a Rax, and they give up a lot of priority targets, and now the Morphling goes beyond godlike, something you really don't want to let happen, as the Morphling was already able to exert a fair amount of split push on this lane as the top siege was going on. So now Morphling going to be going through, going to get a tier 3 tower, may look to go for a full Rax. I don't think there's much that Kunkka can do on his lonesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be even the objective-based things they actually win from the side of Tongfu. Unless they lose the Morphling here, they're gonna be in a pretty comfortable position. But he's getting chased, he's avoiding a lot of the spells.
I mean, he's juked in, but now he's trapped between a rock and a void. Plays getting wailed on by the Juggernaut. They go through, they get the drag here. Moonlight will end up going down beyond godlike, still continuing for the Tongfu Morphling. He's forcing away. He's gonna be alright. For now, he's morphing strength. Now he's morphing back into Agi. Pops the BKB. He doesn't want to get handled here. And he's going to get out safely. That's going to be a Morphling now 12-0-5. It took him a long time to get online, but now that he's online, he is shining.
Yeah, now full butterfly. I mean, Morphling good here. He's going to have so much agility. He's going to be able to kill pretty much anyone on the team. Even the hero like a Tinker, 1800 HP. That's butter for Morphling at this point, having so many stats. So that's going to be, you know, the X Factor, always going to be able to blow someone up. He may even like pick up something like a Blink Dagger, so he can just instantly get on top of the Tinker.
Alright, now up top we've got the Tinker applying that split push. Really wants to keep this lane going in Radiant's favor, but I think Tongfu, they've kind of said, you know, we're here, we've got a Morphling, he's doing well. Look at this net worth disparity. I mean, he is just up at the top, and Juggernaut's not really going to be able to catch him up. Juggernaut's peak potential in the game has kind of petered off here at almost 50 minutes in the game. How did the Jug keep himself relevant?
Yeah, he has bought himself a butterfly, which is actually going to be one of the better cost-effective items to keep him in the game. But it is a small way.
Oh, we've got the drag here. There's going to be TPs in from all sides. Everyone looking to not lose this fight. As they do bring in Faith. We've got the black hole online, but he's going to take a full Omni Slash. Will he go down? He pops the BKB before he goes. Enigma losing some valuable charges. There's an egg. There's a chrono. Venn diagram of damage coming out as they will spray through. Looks like the flame break actually ends up getting the disruptor closer to the paws of Moonlight. They are going to look for the Ricky here. Do they have vision at the end of the tricks of the trade? The torrent will not connect, but looks like they still blow him up with a dag, and it's going to be a double kill for the Tinker, and that's going to be 2 big kills going the way of EHOME.k.
Yeah, this is EHOME.k's way to fight. I mean, kill everyone besides the Morphling, because you can't kill a Morphling, but if he can force everyone else to die off, he's not going to be able to take a fight on his own. I mean, you can't 1v5 even though you are a Morphling.
Alright, we've got Batrider doing his best here, really trying to make the work happen, and you know, can Morphling afford to trade his Rax for some push on this tower? He's got to go for it. He's got to try something here, because otherwise Tongfu, they have to look for another base defense. They are going to go look for this easy Rax. They get the melee, they're looking for something else here. They go for the tower. Looks like Juggernaut should pick it up fairly quickly. Another tier 3 will go down, but Morphling, I mean, he's all in here. He's looking for a Rax of his own. We could have some Rat Dota going forward, as now the Morphling trying to zip away. Will get away for now. He goes in. He's going to take another laser to the face. He won't live through that one. He's got the buyback. He comes back out. Moonlight in some trouble. He's going to die. There is going to be the boat coming back through. He drops the gem. The boat whiffs, but in the back lines there is going to be a black hole. It connects onto the Jugger. He can only stay magic muted for so long. It looks like he will be trying to run away here. He's going to be zipping on through. They bring in the Morphling, who did buy back for this. Can they get the kill here? They do get the kill on the Juggernaut. Juggernaut, he's got the buyback. That's going to be a Tinker going down. Tinker has buyback as well, but it's still 3 dead for EHOME. These buybacks are expensive, coming at a cost. Now, Blade Mail on the Phoenix shown off. It's going to be a double kill for the Morphling, who, you know, he dies, he buys back, but he gets something out of it. He did feed away a huge amount of bounty. I forget exactly what it was, but it had to be over 1,000 gold for that Beyond Godlike streak.
Yeah, definitely. At that point, he's worth a lot, man. He's worth a lot. But obviously, buying back on the Morphling is going to be a little bit of a worry. They do buy back on the Tinker as the first one. So I guess you kind of equalize the buybacks a little bit. But the Aegis is going to be the next thing coming down. Morphling is going to be able to pick that up. He even drops on his Ethereal Blade into the stash, just making sure he can get that Aegis.
Alright, so Roshan will be going down for the 3rd time this game, and that means Cheese, as well as Aegis, will be going to Tongfu, and that could be what they need to finally go through and siege. Morphling has made a slot for this Aegis, putting his Ethereal Blade in the stash, and that's gonna mean, well, you've got 2 lives in the Morphling. It's hard enough to get him down once, they're going for twice, and do EHOME have the damage there? You've seen Juggernaut just kind of fall flat in these last couple of engages, whether it's because he opted to go for the BKB now at minimum charges, or what. I mean, he's got the butterfly now, which is a great item. He's got a decent chunk of pennies he could afford to buy out because he doesn't have buyback after he spends it up for the next fight. You know, what's going to be going on here for the Juggernaut? How does he keep himself up, matching with the Morphling?
I think he pretty much, at this point, needs to be able to change the battlefield for something like an Abyssal Blade or MKB to be able to get some bashes going, because that's pretty much the only way you can actually fight into the Morphling. I guess where the Morphling have a Butterfly is going to be the MKB, because if you can bash, you can somewhat fight into the Morphling, even though it is still going to be a little bit difficult.
Alright, so, I mean, we are now 50 minutes into the game. Kill score relatively even. It could go either way. Looking at the overall net worth, it is spooky close here. Sub 2k in favor of the Dire, but again, that's like 1 kill bounty. That's 1 lane of racks. It's really, really close. XP is slightly more in favor of Tongfu by about 10,000, but again, nothing that can't be thrown if the Morphling gets picked off a couple of times, and Tinker, he's the hero to do that. Will give the Morphling a bit of a spooky Estomorph strength for a bit, but still feeling alright. Again, does have that Aegis.
Yeah, this stage is in the game. I mean, both teams have a great amount of team fights, so it is pretty much just getting the initiation, getting the initial team fight won, because buybacks in the both teams is pretty equal. I mean, the Morphling used his buyback earlier, he does have the Aegis for the second life now, and the Tinker used buyback as well. So if the Tinker gets killed, it's going to be a pretty huge thing, but for now, he's getting X-Block in the base, meaning that, I mean, he pretty much is unkillable, because you X-Mark him in the base, you send him off the split push like he wants to, and even if he does get gone, unless he dies in like a split second, the Kunkka is always going to be able to drag him back.
Alright, so smoke up mid. If they get the pick on the Tinker, that could be huge, but there is going to be a glimpse from the Disruptor, actually making it a lot harder on themselves. And they're going to go through. They finally get the lasso into the Tricks of the Trade. They have the damage to get him down. In the end, Batrider does get the pick onto the Tinker. That's going to be big here. He's down for 90 seconds with no buyback. And that could be the window Tongfu need to go in, because those lasers, those heat-seeking missiles have been giving them such a trouble, but no longer. That's going to be their window here. They're going to be going through. They have the mid-racks already down. They don't have any lanes pushed out. They may have to rotate bottom. They may just want to break the high ground, the backdoor protection, and then go for top, and that will be the play. Morphling just ripping through these racks. They force the Fortify. Now Juggernaut, he can't afford to go down here. Yeah, he has the buyback. Doesn't want to spend it. There is going to be Moonlight there. Gets silenced up. There's going to be the Black Hole. Connects onto 2. The Static Storm as well. They're laying in the damage. The boat comes through from the Kunkka. Buying some time, but it looks like they're going to be going through. Looks like for now, Void, he's okay. He's still got the Chrono. Does he go for something here? As there is going to be the Chrono connecting onto 2. They will get the kill on the Disruptor. Takes him a while. He drops the gem in the end. Batrider, he's still alive. He sprays out the Shiva's guard. Now looking to turn this, gets the flame break. There's a leap away from the Void. Batrider, he's still healthy. In the meanwhile, Morphling has been going through, doing a lot of work here. Gets the full lane of racks. Morphling running for his life, but no one can catch him. This is huge for Tongfu. This may be what they need here. Disruptor's dead without buyback, but if things go south, they do have the buyback on the Enigma.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
It was a pretty even fight, like all things considered, but you know, buybacks forced out for the side of EHOME.k, and they lost the buildings, so it's going to be a small win for the side of Tongfu. They only have 1 set of racks to worry about now, so if they can get that, they're going to be in an insane position in this game. And the Tinker still does have buyback for the next couple of minutes, and I mean, that glimpse in the mid lane, that was a game-winning glimpse perhaps. I mean, you know, getting the hero without buyback killed.
Ricky's looking for something here. He's so tempted to go into the Juggernaut. And, you know, a kill on the Jug here could be absolutely huge. He does have the buyback, but really doesn't want to have to spend it. I mean, Jug right now, he's got like almost 6k gold. in his inventory. He's got his buyback with 4k on top of it. He's gonna go through, he will spin, he will take the lasso, but taking very little damage from it. Now they bring in the shotgun here. They are gonna throw in the Tinker on top of this. Nope. Bringing in the rest of the Radiant. They're looking for something here. They want the Morphling. That could be huge. They go through. They get a ton of damage here. Gonna be BK being himself up, so we won't get X marks the spot back in. There will be the Ricky with the tricks of the trade. Looking for some sort of defense here. Blink it out. With the Radiant, they rotate in a lot of resources. So far, they haven't found any reward for that.
Yeah, it's going to be forcing out the BKBs at the very least on the side of the Morphling. It is, I guess, you know, a small thing, but you will keep the Juggernaut alive, and you're going to be able to make a push now. Trying to pressure Tongfu, because they know, I mean, both sides, they're just going to be like hanging on to a small threat. As the Black Hole's still on cooldown, which is something they really want to be able to like keep on just going in and make sure they can get as much out of that Black Hole timing as possible.
Radiant are still up. They're still very much alive. It's honestly now or never. They've got to really exert their dominance before the net worth lead starts getting too big. If they go in and they don't lose the Jug here, if they get the lead in Rax, this could be very, very good for EHOME. That means they're only one little Rax away from getting Megas, and they will secure the final tier 3 tower of the game. Batrider, he's hunting for something. He's got the Blink, he's got the Force, but it looks like right now, the rest of the Radiant are playing this so safe. They don't want to give away any unnecessary advantage. Morphling going through, trying to look for the split push, but this might not be the time, as the final fortify may have been spent. That's going to be a Chrono here. It will connect onto 2. And there's going to be the egg on the background. Really nice combination with the Phoenix. They've been on point almost every single time. In the end, it looks like they will get to pick onto the Disruptor. Disruptor doesn't have buyback for a full minute. There's a Black Hole connecting onto the to Juggernaut. He's going to go through. He immediately buys back. He's going to be getting back in this game right away. They will get the kill on the Phoenix, trying to dive away. Can he live through the negative urn? Looks like it's going to get really, really close. He's going to be alive. And he's TPing home. Phoenix gets out of here completely scratch-free. They do end up losing the Tinker. They force the buyback on the Jugger in the end. Okay, Ricky, he's going to be the sacrifice here. So Tongfu dropping a couple. I mean, in terms of overall net swing, it doesn't really favor EHOME.k because they did have to buy back on the Juggernaut, and that's very expensive. And now Phoenix actually doesn't really want to stand up to these super creeps for too much longer. Can EHOME.k go rip off the band-aid, get the Megas? This might be time here. They catch out the Batrider, who rotates back on through. All he wanted to do was go to the secret shop and pick up some goodies, but it may cost him his life, and he's going to go back on through. He doesn't have the lasso. He doesn't have anything. He's just flapping away for his life, trying to juke around the trees. But Radiant, they're content to play Ring Around the Rosie all they want. They've got the damage, and now Juggernaut going through. Will be ready to siege onto the Rax. Has the Manta in 20 seconds. He goes through. He picks off the final range Rax. On the bottom lane, there's going to be the Static Storm. The Kinetic Field will lock everyone in place, but they've got the BKBs, so not going to be a huge issue there. There will be a TP back in from the Tinker, who goes in, throwing out the Daggons. Ricky going in for the tricks of the trade defensively, making sure there's no more damage for the time being. He pops out, he blinks away. I mean, this is such a scary game right now. If you're Tongfu, you've got to have a flawless defense, and it's getting harder and harder. There will be a glimpse on back from the Tinker. Chrono, not going to connect onto anyone, but they still have some decent damage onto the Morphling. He's Morphin strength for all he's worth. He waveforms away. Can he get out here? Will the Radiant just focus on the prize here? They want to go for the Rax. Looks like Juggernaut, he's doing so much damage. Doesn't have Manta for now, but 3 heroes wailing away will be enough to secure this. They're looking for Megas. It's 1 Rax away. They got to get this range Rax, and I think it's all over. Tongfu don't have the best push lineup in the world, so Megas might be too much for them. This could be it from what seemed like a very monumental swing in terms of net worth in favor of Tongfu. It could be the end. There's going to be a buyback from the Disruptor. That's a desperate play, and there's going to be the tricks of the trade from the Ricky, buying some more time yet again, blinking on away. The Tinker coming back on in. Morphling goes for that Ethereal, just to buy himself some space. And it looks like the Rax completely finished off. Do you think Tongfu hold against Megas?
I mean, they can hold, but like you said, they don't have the best split pushing lineup. And one thing I do want to note, I mean, the Morphling has buyback still, and he hasn't been able to go in for the fight. I mean, I think at this point, when you're losing so many people, when you're losing so many objectives, I think even like trying to go in for suicidal mission, like suiciding the kill and then going for the buyback, trying to fight around it, would have been maybe a little bit better than just like going back into the base and sitting back and being scared, because I mean, you lost your Rags. Now there's Mecha Creeps you have to fight up against, and now they're going to be in such a tough position. I mean, like you said, I mean, Mecha Creeps, you don't have the best split push. They may be able to get the Roche, that would be great, but oh, in the meantime.
Riki just gets annihilated. Gem on the Void. I don't think he was expecting that one, but, you know, 56 minutes as a Riki, you gotta expect them to have some decent vision splatted all around their map. There is gonna go through. There's gonna be a BKB onto the Void. Nice reaction time. He may still end up paying the ultimate price, as there's everything coming in for this Void pick on the backlines. You've got the Phoenix Egg buying some space. There is gonna be a boat coming back on through. Faith could be in some trouble. Will get stunned up by the egg, and looks like that might be the kill they need on the backlines. They're looking for the kill on the Morphling. That could be huge. That could be big. They go in with the Ethereal Blade. They get the shotgun out onto the Kunkka. Another whiffed Chrono might be too much as Moonlight. He's looking for the chase, but he doesn't have the damage. Morphling could turn this if he's not too careful. And now there's just going to be kind of a 1v1 going down. The rest of the Radiant joining the party. They want to find the kill onto the Morphling, leaping back in. There will be a TP in from the Tinker. This is going to be the end of the Morphling for now. They pop out the Lincolns. I mean, he is so slippery. They're looking for something here, but another Dagon will secure his death. That's going to be immediate buyback from the Morphling. On the back lines, the Batrider does end up falling down to the Juggernaut in the mid lane, and I think this is the beginning of the end as the GG is called out from Tongfu at about 60 minutes into the game. What went wrong for Tongfu?
I mean, I don't really know myself, honestly. They had the great kind of like timing where they had the Morphling being great, they had the BKB and the Enigma, but EHOME.k, they made some pretty nice fights in the end. I mean, they had some sloppy ones in the start, gave away a lot of net worth to Morphling, and then in the end they just, you know, pulled themselves together. They had a great team fight lineup, they had the Chronospheres pretty much always on point, the Tinker doing insane damage, and like, I mean, even though he did get caught out a couple of times, in the end, just, you know, killing 2 to 3 people in a team fight, that's going to be like his mission, just, you know, winning the late game as a Tinker with a DAC and doing insane amounts of damage.
Absolutely there. I mean, we see Tinker finishing 12, 8, 11, just a lot of supports, a lot of kill participation. So EHOME.k, they are going to claim game 1. Again, this is a 2-game series, so Tongfu have a chance to go back, try a new draft, try a new game, and we'll see if they can tie it up here, or if EHOME.k run away with a 2-0 split. And, well, I've been your Hypecaster Annie, being joined by Mad Kings. We're going to come at you for game number 2 in just a couple of minutes, so stick around for more DPL action.